It is Echo, Ladder Edition, and down here in the bottom right, we have Dangerous Gaming. It is the purple Protoss player, EnderSword. And his opponent, up here in the top left swarm position, we have a red Protoss, Outset Gaming's Synprime. Gonna be a PvP, of course. EnderSword going for a bit more aggressive build. Well, he's got one gas faster, but Synprime's going for 2 gas, so I guess it works out about the same. After a little while, that extra income from Synprime and the faster income from EnderSword. We'll see kind of when they actually even out on their gas, but either way, for now, EnderSword's sending out scouts slightly later. They're gonna kiss and leave, and yeah, they're just gonna see what's going on. Echo, kind of less of a coin flipping map, I guess. I think we've got just in terms of PvP, just because you will be able to scout with this worker, so you will know what's going on. And EnderSword with the second gas going to be going pretty heavy on the gas, as their gas count sort of even out now from the double gas. Synprime actually taking in the lead in that gas count. Actually, yeah, he's got 3 in each gas as well. So both players going very, very heavy on their gas counts. Synprime's probe is going off to, well, I mean, that's not back home. So we could be seeing some proxy action coming out here from Synprime, or it could just be to go in for another scout later on. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, both players starting up a initial stalker, and here's that sneaky probe from Synprime. But yeah, so far just a lot of gas from both players. EnderSword's spent a little more of it. What's his? Oh no, he's just actually harvesting a little less now that Synprime actually has the full thing up. But Stargate coming out from Synprime, actually in his base, not proxies whatsoever, and this kind of leans slightly more towards Phoenixes, but I still feel like an Oracle's a great thing. Like, you might as well invest in one if you're getting a Stargate anyway. Because it just has the potential to end the game right then and there. So we'll see. The Nexus going down for EnderSword, though. This matches up pretty well against the Stargate. Stargates can't really do anything to stop the actual Nexus getting down. They can support other units in a push to try and punish an expansion, but there's not much they can do about it themselves. So as Stargate finishes up, it's actually going to be a Void Ray. That is a bit interesting. I mean, Void Rays are pretty good at killing buildings, but they are rather slow. Take a while to get out, or get out and get across the map. But looks like Synprime is going to be going for some kind of a 3-gate Void Ray push. I really would have actually preferred the Stargate proxy, because Void Rays are really slow. So hitting with 1 or 2 a little bit faster would be a bit better. And actually, as it turns out, EnderSword hasn't scouted for the proxy whatsoever. Although maybe he would have done if Synprime had a proxy power out from the map rather than in space. So we just can't tell. Either way, the Natural Nexus finishing up here for EnderSword. It's a lot safer now it's finished, because he can actually Photon Overcharge it. Chroning out +1 air weapons is EnderSword. He's going for a Stargate of his own. So this is going to be an interesting game. We'll see what he's bringing out the Void Ray as well. So we've got double Void Ray production. EnderSword chroning out +1 air weapons, and Synprime just going for his own Void Rays, but without anything. I think he's gonna move out with this second one, start moving across the map and try and put some hurt on EnderSword. But EnderSword has a pretty good army to deal with this, I think. Like he's got a slight income advantage with that natural base. The Mothership Core will do quite well. Sentries are... The Guardian Shield is fantastic on anything with a high damage point, or low damage interval even. And Void Rays actually deal damage once every 0.5 seconds. So despite the fact they have to deal quite a lot of damage with that, it does still cut it off quite a lot. It actually takes a third off the damage against non-armored. But Synprime moves up here. The Photon Overcharge goes down. And I think Synprime is actually just going to have to wait this out. Protoss air weapons is just 30 seconds away and being chronoed out. So, much less than that, realistically. But Synprime actually now has a pretty strong army and is warping in stalkers and stalkers and stalkers. Second Void Ray, though, just finished up for EnderSword. And our Photon Overcharge is still active. Synprime can't quite fight under that. And if Synprime focuses down EnderSword's Void Rays, he'll be in a pretty good position because his Void Rays will deal very, very nicely with a handful of Stalkers that EnderSword actually has. A second Stargate on the way for EnderSword now as well. He can start at third Void Ray too. But third Void Ray for Synprime is making his way across the map. And here comes the engagement. The beam comes down first for EnderSword, and he is demolishing what Synprime has. That one Void Ray goes down, and really, really good engagement for EnderSword there. Taking out one of his opponent's Void Rays. The Void Ray count is going to be all important in this game. The second Void Ray is actually going to go down as well, and EnderSword keeps both of his alive. He is in a great position now with a third Void Ray finishing up as well. He's actually going to start chasing a little bit here. There is one Void Ray coming in for Synprime. Oh, excellent force push. With no blink, these Stalkers are not getting out of here alive, and they all get taken down. 3 Stalkers in the Void Ray. I don't think that beats 2 Void Rays even. Oh, although Synprime actually does get a tag on one of his opponent's Void Rays. The second one coming in for EnderSword. Mouth open like a terrifying ocean beast. Is going to drive Synprime away. But now EnderSword's first Void Ray has prismatic alignment back up, ready for the next engagement. And yeah, here it comes. Actually, very nice decision there by Synprime to focus that one down first. He's going to take it out. And actually now Synprime, focusing his opponent's Void Rays, is taking a bit of an advantage. The Mothership Core actually did get taken out for EnderSword, so there's not much left. And Synprime keeping his Void Ray back, making sure EnderSword can't actually fight it. But Pro's coming off the line. Looks like EnderSword has pushed this back pretty successfully. And now with the double Void Ray production, yeah, I mean, the only problem is EnderSword doesn't really have much other than double Void Ray production. And Synprime now has his Mothership Core coming up. Stalk count is getting fairly high. And EnderSword really has to find some way of dealing with the Void Rays. He needs to keep his alive, and he's just not doing it. Not microing them back at all. The next Mothership Core comes out for EnderSword, but with no Focus Overcharge, it's not really much help in this fight. And yeah, EnderSword though, with the Pro Pull, is going to be able to drive this away. He has so much of an upgrade advantage. He can afford to lose quite a few of these probes to actually drive it back, and he will do so. But nice time warp is going to allow a little bit of distance to be created, allow this warping to come in and take out a lot of these probes. EnderSword, I think, is losing a bit too much here. But now his Vex Void Ray comes along. But again, it just gets focused down immediately. EnderSword is not taking care of his Void Rays. It's like he doesn't respect them. But it's tough. However, this Mothership Core nearly got enough energy for another Focus Overcharge if EnderSword can keep it alive. But again, the Focus Fire from Synprime is immaculate. He's deciding exactly what to Focus Fire every single time and making all the right decisions. Whereas EnderSword he's not fighting in the right way. His micro is just not there at all. And yeah, his last Stalker falls. A few more being warped in are all going to get taken out before they get a few shots off. And although there are 2 Void Rays about to finish up, that's just not enough to take out what Synprime has. And Synprime can actually get on top of the production, start shooting at them as soon as they come out. And I think this is going to be it for EnderSword. Synprime is just a little too powerful, and this, yeah, his last Void Ray falls, and he's got 2 army supply. What is it? It's just, oh, he's got no armies. Okay, a few units in production. It was his Mothership Core in production, but yeah, that finishes up. But Mothership Core and Zealots just aren't going to deal with a Void Ray and all these Stalkers. This Void Ray from Synprime has 11 kills. And almost all of them on expensive Protoss units. Well, all of them on expensive Protoss units, maybe a couple Probes. But Mothership Core gets focused down again immediately. And as his Stargates start to fall, I think that this is EnderSword's sort of last hope in this game. He's now down on a probe deficit. 16 probes, just enough to saturate his minerals. But Synprime can kite back against these Zealots, kite back against these probes all day long. And looks like a red Protoss round set game is going to be taking the 1-0 lead. Another excellent time warp right on the ramp. Takes out a lot of EnderSword's probes. 1 Force Field is going to keep EnderSword alive for a little while. But it is a stay of execution, very much so. And Synprime can still move up here with this Void Ray. GG says EnderSword, and Synprime is going to take out Echo first map. And hello, we're back on Terraform, and up here in the top left is our purple Protoss, currently down 1-0. We have EnderSword. And down here in the bottom right, winning last game with a 1 base Void Ray push, it is Outset Gaming's blue Protoss, Synprime. And this game going for double gas once again. And EnderSword opening up. I think a slightly later gas from him this time. Yeah, slightly later, so a little bit more of an economic opening over than EnderSword, but Synprime is going to be scouting out. Again, these one base, two spawn maps, I guess. A little bit less coin flippy, because obviously you can actually scout. So Synprime's going to have a good handle on what EnderSword's pulling out. He won't be caught off guard by any kind of crazy all-in, or at least he shouldn't be. And yeah, that definitely helps things out a little bit. Now, EnderSword sending a probe down, possibly to get his own scout off. Yeah, it looks like. Synprime just making sure it's not going to be a Nexus or anything. And both players finishing up their cyber cores pretty soon. We are going to see how it progresses, what the check choice is this game. Last game we saw double Void Ray, double Stargate from EnderSword, and just single base Void Ray production from Synprime, but I don't think that's something we're going to see repeated. However, Synprime has let on some interesting information. He did mention he was looking at EnderSword's match history, and therefore was actually was responding to what he saw there, which was mainly Robo. So there's the possibility EnderSword can kind of use that to his advantage and go for some maybe some Twilight builds to try and help out against do well against Stargate openers, which will do well against the Robo openers, but we'll see. That is getting up to the pretty high level mind games, and it looks like, actually, speaking of Twilight cancels, is going to be Synprime bringing that out. See whether it's for Blink or for DTs in a minute. I'm guessing probably Blink. He is building those Stalkers. Terraform's a pretty decent Blink map, but we'll see. It's lots of different options. A few more gates going down. 3-gate Blink could be a decent choice. EnderSword, however, just trying to get... He likes to play a macro a little bit, trying to get his natural base up, and it's going up pretty quickly, or it's gone up fairly early, so he isn't going to have too much issue defending it to start off with, at least. But EnderSword now opening up with the Robo, and Synprime curling out Blink, getting his own Robo just in case of DTs, and yeah, EnderSword with the Robo is going to be pretty well matched against this Blink, but last time he was pretty well matched against what actually came out for Synprime, and he ended up losing the game. So we'll see whether Synprime's micro is going to be strong enough to actually hold it off this game. But I don't know. Proc Spawn come down to Synprime, getting ready for his attack. He's getting his Stalkers down. Warp Gate, of course, just finishing up now, and as the gates open, Blink is on the way. The Robo is going to provide the Observer for high ground vision and for detection. But EnderSword, we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be an Immortal first for him. I was wondering whether it's Immortal or Observer first, but the Immortal coming out as his initial Robo unit is going to match up quite well against these Stalkers. For a couple of reasons. Obviously, Immortal is just great on Stalkers, but one of the reasons they're really good against Blink Stalkers in particular is they actually do like instant damage. They don't have a projectile that can be dodged by Blink, so if they get in range, you're taking damage. There's no two ways about it. So we'll see. Synprime actually moving up now. He's got a pretty decent Stalker force, and EnderSword's army really isn't in position, so he should be able to get a bit of damage done here. Blink is just about finished. No cancel on that pylon is not ideal here, but Folk No Charge goes down. The Blink is revealed as Synprime gets himself out of there. And yeah, we'll see. EnderSword's Observer is actually going to be spotted by Synprime's. Is it? Just gets away. Oh no, EnderSword's just sending it on patrol move. Synprime, though, is going to blink up into the main base. There is enough NG for another Photon Overcharge on the main Nexus now. But Immortal being focused down immediately, actually used it on a Time Warp, keeping that Immortal alive. Second Immortal comes out as well, doing its damage. And yeah, a few of these Stalkers aren't going to get the blink out. So overall, pretty good there, I think, for EnderSword. Quite a lot of these Stalkers went down. EnderSword's Observer is going a little too far and does get taken out. That's pretty important. It's going to take up EnderSword's cycle time if he wants to actually rebuild that observer, and he's going to need to if he wants to take out Synprime's observer and actually deny the high ground vision. But for now, EnderSword positioning himself pretty well, somewhere between the natural base and the high ground. He's got a great concave already here on the high ground. Synprime jumps up, but actually, target fires one of his own stalkers. The Zealots are in such great position. He's waiting for that blink cooldown. Now he can get out, but with only 4 stalkers left, EnderSword did fantastically from that engagement. The Immortals picking up tons and tons of kills, 5 between them, all on stalkers, expensive unit stalkers, and the Zealots doing really, really nicely. A lot of damage as well, trapping the stalkers up against the wall. But now Synprime positions himself more towards the natural. EnderSword's army is in roughly the same position, slightly further towards that natural, but now he sees where Synprime is and is going to move down here, try and catch the army out of position. And yeah, these stalkers just taking out the Zealots, really not doing very much. The Zealots of Synprime get force fielded in, sentries get force fielded in, and these Immortals just continuing to press forwards, continuing to do damage. EnderSword actually throwing down a second robo. Double Immortal production could be coming out of him. But he notes as well, he is on 2 bases. Synprime has been on 1 this whole time. So EnderSword winning the engagements is just fantastic news for him. GG. Game number 2 goes EnderSword's way. On Inferno Pools. And in the top left, it's Purple Zerg. We know and love him. He has his own emote. It is EnderSword. And down here in the bottom right, going for a very aggressive build this game, starting things off with a 10 gate, is the blue Protoss Outset Gaming's Synprime. Now, the 10 gate already narrows things down. There are a couple builds I know that start with the 10 gate. One is, of course, the infamous 3 gate, the new version of the 4 gate, where it's like a 4 gate, but it's faster and you only have 3 gates. And the other, of course, is Zest's Phoenix opener, which is really cool because you get a ludicrously fast Stargate, because you get a 10 gate, so you get a faster core, so you get a fast Stargate, and you have Phoenixes. It's hilarious. Personally, that's what I hope we see out of Synprime. And actually, it might be with the double gas. Wow. Oh. Okay. This is cool. This is cool. I'm very interested to see what Synprime does. Core coming down for him now. But anyway, Inferno Pools, yes. As a force-spawn map, big map, it's going to be... There's basically no chance EnderSword's going to scout this 10 gate. So he won't really know what's coming. Synprime is going to have to scout where his opponent is. But as the player who's going to be taking the aggressive stance in this game with the 10 gate, he's not going to have to actually... he's only going to have to know where his opponent is. He doesn't need to scout anything, any kind of... He doesn't have to react to anything. He's got one path, and if that doesn't work, then he's in a bad position. But right now, EnderSword getting up a second gate. It looks like he might be putting on some aggression of his own. Or maybe it's just a safety. Who knows? But Synprime is actually starting his warp gate now. Most likely chroning it out. Let's take a look. Yep, it's been chroned out. And yeah, looks like a 3-8, but with a lot more gas than usual. I think 3-8 builds usually start with just 1 gas. It's not a build I see very often because it's basically PvP exclusive. Wow, okay, really fast Twilight Council. This is getting interesting. Oh no, okay, I know. This is ridiculously fast DTs. That's what this is. And that's why Synprime's hiding this a little bit more. Things are going to get fun. EnderSword, so far, has gone for robo opening in 1 game, but he's going to need a very fast robo opener to actually hold this off. The only problem is Synprime doesn't actually know where his opponent is. There's the Darkshrine coming down the natural. And we see Synprime's probe moving out to get the scout off. And yeah, EnderSword he's going to scout his opponent's base, and he's going to see like a regular probe count, the same as his probe count. Actually slightly above. And he's going to see warp gate being chroned out, but he actually doesn't really have much of a clue what's going on. I mean, he sees 4 gateways. I mean, he knows there's some aggression, but he doesn't know what it's going to be. And I don't know. It depends if he knows his gas counts well enough. Okay, I guess he does. He is the PvP connoisseur, and robotic facility going down immediately for EnderSword. And so this is going to be great for him if he can get those observers out fast enough. Unless he's misread this and thinks it's going to be a blink open or something, it's gonna be tough. But the pylon come down for Synprime. He needs to warp in those DTs as quickly as he can because he's I mean that's what it is. DT rush. He's put down the pylon. It's not the proxiest pylon. It's not in the best position, but it's close enough. And he now knows where EnderSword is, or will in just a second. 3 DTs being warped in. They don't know where to go. They now know where to go, and they're going to be sent into the natural base. But that observer is already on its way out. EnderSword also has enough units, a photon overcharge. He's got enough to actually. Oh, he did see the. Oh man. Okay, rip. He did see the dark shine. But yeah, he's seen the dark shine. He knows exactly what's coming at him. Force field a little late actually, but it doesn't really matter. Mobile detection, and yeah, he's gonna take on out those 3 DTs. They only managed to kill 1 zealot, and that's it. And yeah, not so good. Not so good. But still, Synprime has the possibility of going to some kind of like Zealot Archon play, which could be strong. He's going to try and get what damage he can in the natural, and a couple of probes go down. He should really just get out of there while he can. He's going to try, but I don't know if he'll manage it. 3 Zealots coming in to reinforce, though. He does get some damage done. He has managed to take out a Stalker, but the Photon Overcharge goes down, and EnderSword just needs to run away and let his Photon Overcharge clean things up. And he can poke away with that Stalker as well. Stalker does get... Nope, doesn't get taken out. Photon Overcharge. Again, it is tough for Synprime to see what Synprime can do here. So far, he's just played big 1-base pushes every single game, and EnderSword has gone for a fast expand and just kind of held off and let his econ win him the game. So now EnderSword bringing out his Colossus Bay, or Robotics Bay, so he can actually build some Colossi, get some stuff going. Could even use it to get observer speed, because he knows there's a lot of DTs here. But now actually, Synprime does have a fairly scary army. No Photon Overcharge, but he can use it again. Brilliant. And yeah, with 2 Immortals out as well, they're going to be doing so well, taking so much damage from the DTs with their Hardened Shield. The Force Field's great too. Last DT falls, and these Zealots have to back on out. Getting hits from Photon Overcharge as they go. 1 Brave Bay Probe is going to give his life fire. And yeah, EnderSword's just chasing down. Wants to back off. Yeah, doesn't want to overextend too much. There's a slightly stronger army here for Synprime, and EnderSword, if he goes too far away, doesn't have the advantage of his Photon Overcharge. But speaking of Photon Overcharge, that will be expiring pretty shortly, and then Synprime will get another chance to push in. But EnderSword's Colossus is on the way. Those 2 Immortals are still alive. Immortals just good against DTs because they tank so much damage. Good against Stalkers. Not so hot against the Zealots, but I mean, with a few Force Fields, with a few tanking Zealots, they do just fine. And here he comes in. That first DT, nice micro back. Synprime's micro has been pretty on point this whole series. And actually, he does manage to take out pretty much all the Zealots for EnderSword. EnderSword's backing himself into a corner here a little bit. Force Field is not the world's best. And yeah, that Immortal getting surrounded by the Zealots is going to go down pretty swiftly. However, the probes coming off the line are going to help fight this way. And yeah, the other Immortals are so bad against Zealots. It doesn't quite fall though. Now the Colossus coming in does its own strong amount of damage. Finishes off the rest of the Zealots and takes out that DT as well. Now EnderSword, he spent quite a few probes during that. He needs to stop. Oh no, that's actually Synprime's Mothership Core. It's gonna go down. Just about escapes. Yeah, just about escapes. But this Colossus can keep on chasing down the Zealots. Actually manages to find the... oh no, take better care of your Colossus, EnderSword. It's going to go down. He's not paying attention. And as the DTs come in, get 1 swipe in on it, and it does go down. EnderSword's 2 observers are now out as well. But actually, he's running out of units a little bit, and Synprime is just pumping them out more and more and more and more. His micro, his efficiency with his units is what's been keeping him in all these games. And so far... resource loss is actually slightly in favor of EnderSword, which is not good news because he's actually got the much higher income as well. He's about 400 ahead in minerals per minute and about 100 in gas per minute, but that's because he's got not full gas saturation as natural. He needs those minerals. Now Synprime coming in with the Archon, a much better decision, I think, than with the just using the Zealots, using the DTs, and he is actually pushing through so far. That Archon being micro back, keeping it alive. The Stalkers doing what they can to focus down these sentries. Sentries very expensive units as they go down. Tough EnderSword to replace, but now EnderSword's reinforcement warpins means Synprime has to back that Archon off until his own reinforcement warpins come in, but even then they're not enough. He's just got the Zealots. That's all he can afford to produce right now. And one more DT. But the next Colossus out for EnderSword. Range coming out as well. Another one on the way, and EnderSword just has the power units that Synprime really lacks access to. All he's got is this Archon. It's low range. It's not really so great against the small kind of Stalker-based forces of EnderSword. So it's going to be tough. He's going to be able to get out a second Archon. Or actually just going with the 2 DTs. They do add a lot of DPS to a composition, although they are flimsy. And EnderSword coming in. The Colossus is swiping away, doing so much damage. That Archon being focused down a little bit by the Mothership Core and the sentries. And yep, it's going to evaporate. And so does Synprime's hopes and dreams. GG! EnderSword takes game number 3 and will advance forwards to the winners match facing Tyrannus in a TVP.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.